All right, everybody, we are here for the Off and Turn One podcast. And I'm Gary, that's Joe. I look like a chief today. That's the theme, because, Illinois made the Elite Eight, so I got to root for a Big Ten team.
Chief!
Perfect.
You're welcome.
And, we have a full episode for you today. Of course, like I said, I'm Gary, that's Joe. We have got a lot to talk about this week. We got some things. We're going to move some things around on you this week. We actually were going to bring Scott out to talk about Formula One on this episode, but we got something a little later. But for now, we've got the virtual 12 hours of Sebring that we did this weekend. We've got the XMS stuff at Daytona from this past week. We're going to go over that. We've got IndyCar, NASCAR, everything. So, without further ado, you want to dive right in?
Son of a bitch. I forgot we were talking about SMS.
Why did you forget? I told you it was gonna break. Yeah, I told you it was gonna come up.
But I died.
We will be talking about your wreck. No, you don't even have to worry about that. That is gonna get talked about. Let me tell you. So, there was a rumor earlier this week. That rumor has since been solved as of yesterday at the recording of this podcast on March 30th, 2024. That NASCAR was going to buy the Long Beach Grand Prix, and I'm happy to say, as of today, they did not.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Forsyth. You are a fucking god. Oh shit.
We will talk about him in just a moment. But not much for the hot topics today. I mean, we'll get into. There's been some charter chatter this week. We'll get into that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and talk about the socialists. I mean, the great all-star race. I mean, whatever the hell it was at the Thermal Club. Joe, take it away.
All right, so a couple of main points from it. The qualifying race was or one of the qualifying races was a fucking shit show. Good job, Dixie. You dumbass. Turn one, buddy. Come on, throw it in there. Ah. I know he was sitting there trying to say, "Oh well, Romain Grosjean did this." Well, guess what, Mr. Iceman? Not everybody's perfect. Next, Romain Grosjean.
I got
right. So next up, Romain Grosjean getting slightly physical with a corner worker. Sorry, bud, you don't do that. In your words, get fucked. We have it recorded somewhere. The second race was pretty bland because
just side note, that was the most fluent I've ever heard him speak English.
Right? He knows how to say RV really well. An airplane. Airplane. I mean, what? You don't make friends with salad. You don't.
Yes.
Anyways, no, race 2 was pretty much a snooze fest because it was or the practice or the whatever you want to fucking call it for Alex Polo. Yeah, it was the Alex Polo show, and so was the feature. Yay!
Well, I mean, technically McLaren did win though.
Shh, I haven't gotten to that yet. So fucking oh crap! I'm glad we're not doing this live.
We were going to.
Yeah, we were this morning when everybody was sleeping still. Anyways, no, there was people tried some strategy. You need to save your tires, and a couple of guys got disqualified. You know who you are.
Talk about those Ray Hall Letterman cars getting disqualified.
Yay! One was because of what unapproved adjustment.
Didn't have enough fuel in the car.
Oh yeah, one was not enough fuel, and then there was another one that had they did something unapproved.
Graham was saying he had a stuck throttle, and they wouldn't let him fix it.
So that was volunteer then that they pulled him out?
No, they wouldn't let him. They considered it would have been an unapproved adjustment. So they DQ'd him because he was out there with the throttle linkage all messed up, causing the throttle to stick. And IndyCar said you can't fix that during the break. Not allowed to. DQ'd him.
Yeah, mistakes
To
were
me,
made.
excuse me. To me, I feel like that's a safety issue, and they should have allowed him to fix that and compete in the race, the second half of the race. But
Again,
whatever,
mistakes
it's
are
IndyCar. Mark Miles is running it, and he doesn't know how to run a damn thing. So here we are.
Yep, mistakes were made. Colton Herta
But,
tried
I
doing
mean,
the.
they don't. But they
Go
don't.
ahead.
They haven't had an all-star race in ever for that reason because they don't know how to run it.
It's not. Okay. So. Oh boy.
I'm opening the can of worms. Let's talk about it.
So
Throw it on this table.
hey, give me 1 second.
Got a phone call?
Yeah, Mandy was trying to call, so I'm just gonna leave that in there so everybody can sit here and type in the comments. Hi, Mandy. Anyways,
Hi, Mandy. A
yeah, she'll
few
never
moments later.
a few moments later. 6 hours late, actually 3.5 days later. No, Colton Herta tried the tire strategy thing, so did a couple other guys. It was all right. It was worth a shot. If you were deep in the field, you had to do something. I commend him. Be like, you know what? It's all or nothing. This is what an all-star race is about. So, you know what? Props to Colton. Again, the race was the Alex Polo show, and Thermal. Yes, you are a beautiful driver's track. It is a fun place. I've tested it on Assetto Corsa. It is not an IndyCar facility, boys. I'm sorry. If you're gonna do something like that, take it to freaking Texas or somewhere else. Make it worthwhile. I don't want to get into what everybody else was suggesting.
Michigan.
Well, California Speedway whenever we decide to finish it. Huh. But um I don't know. I don't know. IndyCar commend you on trying to make a change. I don't commend you on your track choice. The format was all right, and if you're advertising $1 million, right, $1 million event, make it $1 million event. All right, Alex Polo has bills to pay. All right, he has diapers to buy and Zach Brown to pay back. So $500,000 in today's money, yeah, he probably walks around that with that, right? And he probably wipes his ass with it. So, come on, I'm trying to give IndyCar the benefit of the doubt. It's really hard to do it.
It is. Really
That's my take on it. We have Long Beach. Long Beach is coming up. They did
Thanks
hybrid.
to Mr. Forsyth for saving that race. Let's talk about that.
So, IndyCar and the late Kevin Kalkoven had a partnering share of owning the rights to the Long Beach Grand Prix. Well, everybody knows that Kalkoven passed away, so there was a bidding war with the estate to figure out who was going to get that. And I guess NASCAR, Formula One, a bunch of series were sitting there looking at it, and IndyCar's going, "Oh fuck!" All right. The the once great IndyCar owner, Jerry Forza,
Very
jumped in.
important owner, by the way.
Yes, he jumped in and said, "No, this is IndyCar's race. I am going to buy it, and it's staying an IndyCar race." So the man said he'd never run, an IRL race ever. Technically, he ran one. I'm not going to get into the details on it. You guys can look up
The '08 Long Beach Grand Prix. It was technically an IRL race. Oh.
Yeah. So you guys can look that up. And, the man said something that is prestigious to IndyCar racing. Formula One shit on Long Beach, and IndyCar picked up the tab, and we're 40 plus years into it now, and they're keeping it alive. It's the second. It's their second highest rated race, highest second attended race, or second highest. Holy fuck! I can't think today.
Well, it's like what David Land
Thanks,
said. I
child.
was listening to him earlier this week. I mean, it's the second biggest race behind Indianapolis 500, of course. But I mean, I would really love to see Mr. Forsyth come back as a team owner and field some cars again for IndyCar, because I feel like that guy he kind of reminded me of a mixture between like Dale Earnhardt Jr. as far as bringing in some up and coming guys, and then also a guy like maybe a Richard Childress or somebody like that, where they would give some guys a second chance, like Jeff Burton is a prime example in the last few years. Kyle Busch today, um, just being that kind of guy that would just maybe some people that thought were leftovers of the series and turn them into a star. I mean, look what he did with Paul Tracy in the last few years.
Well, he was Paul Tracy's last ride in a decent Indy car. Yes, I said that out loud. You know, um,
Because KV racing wasn't all that. I'm sorry. Love KV racing, but
if it wasn't for Forsyth and Calcoven, we wouldn't have had Cart or Champ Car run as long as it did. It would not have made it to through the 07 season, and it probably we wouldn't have had a merger. Maybe we wouldn't even have Long Beach anymore. So the cards were played right. This is what happened, and we move on. So thank you again, Mr. Forsyth.
yeah, definitely for sure. I'm glad it's going to be an IndyCar event for the foreseeable future, because that if F1 bought that race or NASCAR bought into that race, they have the choice of who to pick to race on that track. And we know that NASCAR would not have let IndyCar have that race no more. And same thing with Formula E. They would not have allowed IndyCar to race there on that track anymore. So
that's
right
kind of
into the right hands and based off of the passion for IndyCar, which is surprising coming from Mr. Forsyth, because, like you mentioned, he never wanted to race in IndyCar. He hated the IRL for whatever reason.
So this kind of all leads into something that I know I've discussed with you, Gary. The few viewers that we have, I've discussed it with them, and I'm just gonna say this again. All right. If NASCAR and IndyCar would stop working against each other and start working with each other, all right, sit there and plan out. All right, we know that IndyCars are gonna run every weekend that NASCAR is, but if in the terms of survivability and avoiding what we've already talked about, the inevitable selling of the league to the highest bidder, which will end up being Liberty Media, work together. Maybe you could have NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA all in one weekend at freaking at Long Beach. I would fucking love it. And in fact, you sit there, run Xfinity and Cup on a Saturday. All right, maybe even make it a night race for them. All right, a Cup night race, that'd be fun. All right, and then do IMSA IndyCar on Sunday. All right, leave it so IndyCar is still the premier series at that place. Work together on this shit. All right.
I mean, hell, I've even said the Chicago street race, they're missing a great opportunity of having IndyCar there.
Well,
I mean,
hold that put that in your back pocket, right? Just stick that pocket out, back there real quick. All right, we're gonna be talking about that here in a few weeks. But yeah, there's there's so many opportunities out there, but we can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face. We're just two, blue collar fuck faces on a podcast. All right, we don't sit here and own shit and don't run anything. It's just our suggestion. Right? I mean, if we want to run our league, which we can sit there and do it on freaking iRacing if we wanted to. Simulator. And on that note,
Video game.
Video games, yay!
So I did have some extra news for the NASCAR segment. We'll bring that in, and then we'll hit the iRacing stuff after that. But NASCAR did buy Bowman Gray Stadium. That did happen last week. I can't remember if I brought it up on the podcast or not.
No, it was
But
not.
they did buy it a week ago. Sorry for being the Internet Explorer of news reporting, but that did happen. So that means the local racing and the weekly racing there is going to stay in NASCAR's hands for a while. Hopefully, they clean up some of the clown show, but doubt that'll happen. It could be interesting. Cup did race there at one point early on in their history. We're talking like the 50s and 60s. Could this mean bringing the All-Star race to Bowman Gray? Maybe a points paying race somehow? I don't think you could fit 36 cars on that track, but
I think NASCAR is starting to realize, maybe people don't want to see these 1.5-mile cookie cutters all the time.
I will say there are a few that they need to, instead of racing there twice a year, just race there once. Las Vegas and Kansas, you could easily move that to like Kentucky, Chicago, take it one of the Atlanta races away. But I mean, I've been saying this for forever, so.
So here's the thing about racetracks, okay? I've never owned one, all right, but I do know of owners, all right. I've had chats with them face to face. So I'm not gonna name the racetrack, but let's just say once a year they get a rather large event. The Sports Car Club of America comes in and they basically invade the track for the weekend. All right, it starts Thursday and goes straight through Sunday night. All right, that's their biggest event. And that's the one that pays the bills. All right, they know that, right? They know right off the bat that that's the event that's going to pay the bills. So I don't understand why these bigger tracks that get these national series in NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA can't sit there and be like, okay, this is how we need to budget our shit, all right? And we need to advertise the fuck out of all these events, all right, and get the people to come. And also, too, all right, yes, Daytona, Talladega, we do need to have 2 of those because there aren't that many plate tracks out there. You have to have
Right.
4 plate races, all right? Don't bring those up, all right? Just don't, all right? But the what's it called? Your 1.5 miles. Charlotte, all right? I'd say, yeah, race the oval, all right? And go back to the Roadville. All right, I don't know. The Roadville has been the most entertaining race in Charlotte in years, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I'm a road racing guy. All right,
Especially with it being a playoff cutoff race, absolutely, yeah.
When you have when you concentrate everything down to one event, so you get people like myself who would love to go to Chicagoland Speedway and watch a race, condense it down. All right, don't make it 2 races. Force everybody to go to that weekend and make some money. But that's business degrees talking again. For the fans wise, it'd be like, oh, let's go multiple times. No, shut the fuck up. Let the tracks make their money so we can keep those tracks. End of story.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, very opinionated with that because
Yeah.
one of my faves is not raced on right now, and I'm very pissed about it.
Yeah. Chicagoland's a great track. Kentucky was a great track. I wish that COVID didn't kill him. Honestly, that's really what happened. So, but that's just the reality that we live in today. Unfortunately, I mean, hate to say that it is what it is, but we can't.
Fucking statement.
I know. But it is. It truly is what it is. Let's see here. So we already talked about the IndyCar or NASCAR buying the whole Long Beach Grand Prix. It didn't work out. Yada yada yada. A couple news and notes. NASCAR DQ'd Justin Haley's car after COTA for not meeting weight. Car was too light.
That's what happens when you take a shit after the race.
47 penalties were issued during the Saturday races between the truck and the Xfinity races for cutting cutting the S's and track limits. We'll talk about that. Actually, here's my question for that. What should NASCAR do, if anything, about the track limits? I've said that they need to make the curbs a little harsher if they want to endorse track limits and not have to worry about doing a judgment call. Or, like I said, sausage curbs. I've also heard SVG say, in Australia, they do this thing where they could do like a 5-second penalty, or they give you a warning for doing it once, instead of either a drive-through or a 30-second penalty if you do it on the last lap. I feel like that penalty is a little too harsh for the crime, and so does he. What's your thoughts?
It's simple. All right. Make it do a Formula One style. All right. You encroach the track limits, you're gonna get a penalty. My biggest thing is you saw. I don't remember what turn it was at Coda, but those assholes were in the dirt on the other side of the curb.
Turn
All
8.
right?
It was just after the S's. It's our first right-hander after the S's, I think.
Yeah. What the fuck was that? Okay, number one, how is your car not destroyed? And number two, how is NASCAR allowing that? All right. Freaking iRacing gives you a 3-second slowdown and a 1x for that.
Yeah.
All right. So what the fuck? All right. Those guys should have not been on that side of the track. All right. You guys have was it the double yellow line limit at Daytona? I think a couple of the leagues that I ran in all said half the car over the line. That's it. If you get any more than that, you're fucked. All right, you're getting sent to, or you're getting. I don't remember. I think one was a 5-second
or
penalty.
whatever. Yeah,
You're getting penalized somehow. All right. NASCAR wants to allow that behavior. Fine, go right ahead. Did it change the race? Probably not. But as a owner, a car builder, mechanic standpoint, I would not allow my driver to run down there. Just keep the goddamn cars on the pavement. If you guys want to run on dirt, go back to Bristol on dirt. You guys actually want to really run on dirt? Go run the Baja 1000.
Right. I agree with you. It's ridiculous at this point with the course cutting. Personally, I think NASCAR needs to be a little more stricter about it. But I also feel like that these racetracks and these racing series have enabled drivers to push the track limits. We've made the runoffs smoother with all this freaking asphalt. We've made the curbs less harsh so they can run over the curb with no regard. Like, I think the track owners need to do something about it. Make the curbs more harsh. Drivers won't do that again.
Let's see what happens with the new pavement in Sonoma, because they did not extend some of those areas. Yeah, there's the famous, at the end of, it was at that downhill section where they have the big runoff area. Fine, you gotta stop a 3,600-pound stock car. All right, it's not a fucking IndyCar or prototype. All right, it's not even a GT3. It's a heavier car. It has shittier brakes. Fine, have your runoff area there because hashtag safety, because we race and we need to come home alive. But
we need a clip of that. We need a sound of that.
Fucking timestamp it. 24:30. Okay, I'll go back and get the fucking clip later. Okay. I'm a paid professional race car driver, and I can't stand to live on the danger side. No wonder all you motherfuckers have fucking daughters. You're a bunch of pussies. Pussies. Pussy. You. Pussy. You. Right here.
Point two.
I hold on. I don't. It's back there. I don't feel like grabbing it. God fucking damn it! Move on.
Oh, oh, we had a great truck race. I thought it was pretty entertaining. Connor Zilich started on the pole and then decided to yeet himself through turn one. Didn't even make the damn corner, and I think he came back to finish like fourth or fifth or something. I have to take a look at it.
Adios,
Fourth.
amigos in Austin, Texas.
Right. Corey Heim won the race. Not too much of a shocker there. I can't tell if it's Taylor or Tyler Gray, but both the Gray brothers finished in the top 10. Majeski third. Ross Chastain finished fifth. Jack Hawksworth sixth.
An IndyCar driver?
Ben Rhodes seventh. Yeah.
In a Yoder?
Yeah. Ben Rhodes seventh. Eighth was Christian Eckes and Dean Thompson ninth, and then the other Gray brother in 10th. I don't know who it was. They didn't. They put just T, and I was like, Taylor or Tyler? Who knows? Anyways.
Thanks, dicks.
Yeah, right. So, truck race. Let's go ahead and talk about this. The damn rear end housing of Marco Andretti's truck just quit, to say the least.
I have not been able to find anything about it now why that thing failed, but how the fuck do you rip the rear end out of a truck? All right? I don't care if you're wheel hopping or not. Somebody didn't do their fucking job, and I hope you're at the fucking unemployment line this week.
So, funny thing, NASCAR did take it back to the R&D center. I did hear a little bit about it, but like all the bolts and everything that was supposed to be tight was tight. So everything was put together like it should have been.
Hashtag
Just
scripted.
so somehow, some way, I don't know if maybe Marco was taking curbs too hard, even though the curbs at Coda really aren't that bad. Wheel hop, who knows? Maybe the transmission broke and it broke so bad that it tore the rear end housing out of the car. Who knows?
So I'm gonna add this in real quick. Look at the last name. It is Andretti. All right. Look at their look at their luck. Okay, that should tell you right there. that should tell you right there why they that rear end came out. They are the most unluckiest fucking racing family on the planet.
Unless you're Mario.
No, Mario's pretty unlucky too. Ask him when he turned that DeLaria into the Italian Air Force about 10, 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yep. Sure did. That was the time.
Prepare for takeoff.
That was the time. Right. So, Xfinity race, Kyle Larson won the pole. SVG got sent to the line at the end of the Xfinity race for the track limits, finished 28th. Battling with Austin Hill. Absolutely killed his own car, SVG did, trying to get back to Austin Hill to spin him out. Austin Hill knew it was coming, so, he did his little fuck games by doing a little brake check. That's why I'm not a fan of Austin Hill, is because he can always dish the crap out, but he can't take anything back in return. So that's why I don't like Austin Hill. I don't respect him for it. But it is what it is. We move on. Your top 10 in that race was Kyle Larson, Austin Hill, Joe Nemechek, Cole Custer, Parker Kligerman, Jesse Love, because we love Jesse Love. Andy Green, that is David Green's son, finished 7th in the Jordan Anderson number 32. Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, and AJ Allmendinger rounds out your top 10 there.
Not surprised.
Yeah. So, Cup race on Sunday. William Byron won the pole, led the most laps, won the race. I know JGR swept the stages. I think Chris Bell won stage 1 and Denny Hamlin won stage 2, yada, yada, yada. Christopher Bell, though, was a wrecking ball. And stage 3 took out both Larson and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch was not happy at the end of that race. I thought he was going to walk up there and punch him in the face.
Was he trying to do his best impression of Miley Cyrus? I came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Why we don't have that as a fucking sound on the soundboard is beyond me. He's noting it down, people. See, he's writing it down. You want to know how I know? I can see the white spot on his top of his head.
Wow.
Anyways, so we got that going. Chase Elliott gets a penalty for himself as well for the track limits late in the race, and doesn't finish it even close to the top 10. Your top 10, though, from Coda. We've got William Byron, Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, your top 5, AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex Jr., your top 10.
Martin Truex Jr.
I need you to make fun of him again, but in front of Rob.
Don't worry, it's recorded on a
Hi, Rob, if you're
podcast.
listening.
31:15. We'll sound clip that. He's writing it down, people. It's happening.
Try not to bend all the way over this time. Anyways, so
Hey, you know what? Let's compare bald spots real quick, all right? Right on camera. Let's go. Ready? Mine's pretty fucking bad.
mine's getting there. Anyways, so we had all that today. Last week. Easter tomorrow. Happy Easter if you celebrate.
Get fucked. I mean,
we'll
what?
Celebrate. That's okay. We went there. Okay.
I go to church 3 times a year, people.
Father's Day, Easter, and Christmas Eve. There's 3.
Actually, 4 times because we forgot about Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, Mother's Day. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you find it funny that Easter is tomorrow, all right? And you know what Monday is, right?
Easter Monday.
No, it's April Fool's Day.
It is April Fool's Day. Sure is. Must be some cruel joke.
I haven't started yet. Actually,
So we got all that. Joe, you know what we're about to talk about. Let's talk about 12 Hours of Sebring first. Because I want you to brag on our team in particular, the 25 car. Let's talk about it.
So, before we get started with that, all right, number one, I would like to thank you, Gary, for being our crew chief. All right, Daniel Krim, thank you for being fucking awesome behind the wheel when we needed you to be awesome behind the wheel. And Josh Vidal, fucking fantastic job. And I'm not going to toot my own horn too much because I did fucking 3 fucking stints in the rain the first race that we started, and then had to do 2 in the second race that we started. But yeah, interesting race. And I personally know of 25 entries into the 12 Hours of Sebring this year. Typically, we bring back about 90% of the cars. One fucking car out of all the people that I knew that entered that race finished Sebring. 1, and that was us. In 3rd place overall in an LMP2 car. Sit and spin.
There it is.
I searched and searched everybody that I fucking knew on iRacing, and I could not find anybody else that actually legitimately made it tonight. We had our fair share of shit in the rain. Iberian fucks? Yeah, you know who the fuck you are. I'm still battling you in emails. Oh, we haven't talked about that. We'll talk about that later. It gets worse. Way worse. Anyways,
okay, long story short, can I at least tell what happened? So
Sure.
these guys, they have a team. Turns out their team name was a website. And so after we get wrecked and we've got nothing to do because we're waiting for the car to get repaired, Joe looks up the website. And he sends them guys an email. I don't know what happens after this. Apparently they replied. I'm just now finding out about this about a week later. But
I was gonna wait until it was done, but it
we
ain't
will
done.
not wait to see, we will not tell you what was said between the two drivers that got involved into the incident. But needless to say, both thought they were in the wrong, or in the right, rather. Just a agree to disagree kind of thing. We'll just
Hold on. There is great footage on my Facebook page, all right, and also my Twitter of the exact incident that happened.
Florida
right?
drivers can't drive. Oh,
Yeah, people in Florida do not know how to drive in the rain, number
you
one.
want to
Number
pull it
two,
up?
no, I am not pulling it up. I will put a link to the fucking video in the comments. Anyways, this little bastard thought that I threw it up the left side of him and pinched him off to the curb. I gave him nothing but freaking room, and I'm talking a car and a half. You could put me and a fucking dump truck between this son of a bitch, right? And somehow, some way, he doesn't know how wide a Ferrari is, all right? Which is a lot skinnier than the piece of shit Delara that I'm sitting here running.
He's got mime on us.
All right. That fucking Ferrari, he didn't know how wide it was, ends up touching the fucking curb, totally clears us the fuck out, and then goes to decide to blame me because I threw it up on the inside, in the corner. So what did I do later on? I decided that I wasn't going to do that move anymore, and I started sitting there backing off, taking the corners wide, and getting this humongous fucking run. All right, down the GT3 sides, because not one of you fucks in that lobby that we were in knew how to fucking drive. I'm
In the
not
rain.
turning this into a complaint session, but god fucking damn it. But the funny part is at Road Atlanta was the only P2 drivers, and then GTP drivers at Daytona, and now we're at Sebring, and now it's the GT3 drivers that forgot how to drive. So maybe Watkins Glen will have a decent race. Who knows?
Hey, we finished third. I'll take it.
We should have been first. I'm not gonna lie. We were
yes.
average laps
Absolutely.
as fast as the leader. They didn't put a wheel off at all until the end of the race. Had we been keeping up with them, even being even at a second a lap average off, all right? And if they would have wrecked out in the last 5 minutes, which they did, we would have overtaken them and stolen a win out of them. But yet again, all right, I have proven that my formula for endurance racing is still the best. And you guys can sit here and replay and watch every fucking video that I've ever put out. All right. This man right over here. All right. Him, Scott Ramler, myself, and the rest of this fucking team have this endurance shit figured out. There is a reason why we finish on podiums a lot.
Get the car on track. What I gotta do.
Although I was turning some heaters, and
you were.
I had the second fastest lap of the fucking race. I was the fastest person in the rain, though.
Did it! Woo!
Oh my god, they fucking scored! Holy shit!
For the first time this half.
Oh my god,
Sorry, we're watching a little bit of the Illinois-UConn game while we're recording this podcast, and right now Illinois is getting their asses handed to them. Absolutely getting their asses handed to them. They didn't score a damn point in the first 8 minutes of the second half. Atrocious. It was terrible.
I'm gonna laugh if they if they don't score over 40 in this game. The number one
It's
scoring
gonna be
team in
pretty bad.
you got the
Pretty
top
bad.
3 scoring player in the freaking NCAA and probably one of the top 10 fucking offenses in the
They
country.
said Illinois is ninth. Going into this game, they were ninth in the nation in scoring. 84 something points a game. It was like 84 and a half or something. But anyways, we're not here to talk about
No.
basketball. We're here to talk about racing because that's what y'all tune in for.
Yeah, I'm not done with Sebring.
Oh, you're not done with Sebring? Well, tell me more.
So, iRacing screwed the pooch. They should not have allowed racing, an endurance event in the in weather until more people had experience. And, yeah, that was just dumb. But there are some of us that have raced in the rain, have wrecked cars in the rain, in real life and in other way. There you go. That you ghosted. That's funny. I've wrecked them and shit, and there's other guys on the team that kind of just figured out how to race in the rain and shit. We were fine, but there were people out there. We have a very infamous photo from the start of our first race in the LMP2 car.
I wish you were able to pull that up real quick.
You know what? Hang on, I can find that. Give me 1 second. Where I think. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm looking. Hi, people. This is how I look when I'm trying to find things. Hang on.
If Illinois even scores 30, we'll call that an accomplishment.
You know what? You're right. Let's see. Where's display capture? You guys don't want to see my Discord. That's fine. But there. Let me make this big.
By the way, that is what? Turn one?
That is turn 1, lap
Lap
1.
one.
You want to talk about some motherfuckers that were cussing up a storm? Oh my god, it was the funniest shit you've ever heard in your life. These guys were flipping out. All right, this is there's 4 lobbies a weekend when it comes to these special events. We usually start the 3rd lobby, and freaking
That's why.
we figured, okay, we'll start 3rd lobby, everybody will have it all in their system. Nope. they go into turn 1. The guy in the lead takes it too wide. The guy in 2nd place is sitting there following him, and then 3rd place just comes out of nowhere and goes wham! He goes and cleans out everybody, and then everybody just starts popping in. I'm sitting there, I'm backing off the car. Krim or Josh, one of those two, were sitting there flipping out, like, holy shit, they're wrecking everywhere. I'm like, I just back off, and I'm like, ooh, hole. Woo, right on through. No problems. I sit there and look. All right.
You remember the song?
Half the fucking field is out, gone. All right, in LMP2 in this lobby, and everybody, like, I think by the time I got done with the rain stints, I had moved up to like 5th or 4th or something, and it was like, oh cool, you know what? Track's drying off. I'm getting quicker. Krim, Put the dry tires on. Get out there and go. We throw dry tires on. Oops, that was a bad call.
Oops.
I'm
By
gonna.
the way, for your lap 1, turn 1 incident, I just gotta.
See you driving on track like a fat dumb fuck. I fuck you.
Internet gold. But man,
All in all, despite the diversity,
hold on, I got one for this one.
that's all I was going with. Not diversity. What's the word? We had to overcome a lot of things. There we go.
Travesty is more like it.
Woo, that was bad. That was bad English right there.
Yeah, me fail English? That's impossible.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You mean adversity?
Adversity, not diversity. Adversity. Finishing P3, still pretty cool. Unfortunately, the GT3 car didn't get to finish with the GTP, but I mean, hey, it is what it is, and we come out on top. Not surprised, but I love how it was funny. All of our GTP friends, they were complaining of how the LMP2 was way overpowered in the rain. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't. Your car just sucks.
It's not that, okay? So you have less downforce than a GTP car. You also have more weight, right, than an LMP2 car. So you're not going to be as fast. You also have way more power. You're not going to be able to put it down as well as we can. I'm sorry, but I knew what I was doing when I picked the car I was going to race for Sebring ahead of the rain. I already knew what the fuck was going to go on because I had been testing, all right, when insane...
Testes.
Oh, shit. I had been testing in insanely hot temperatures on slick tracks trying to figure out which car was going to be good for it, and I was able to tune the LMP2 down decently. I never got a chance to work on the GTP. I don't know. I'm only one person, and I like the LMP2 because that's my bread and butter. I've been racing that car since it came out. Like, it's just I know it backwards and forwards.
Butter on the bread. Butter on the bread.
And I was kind of I was purported, or whatever you want to fucking call it, at the fact that I was within a second of pro times. I've never been able to do that in any car, ever. That's fine. But whatever. I got P3.
We're here.
Daniel got P3. Josh got P3. Gary got P3 sitting on a box.
I sure hope Dale's okay.
I sure
Really
hope
want-
Joe's okay.
You really want to talk about that, don't you?
I really do. I really do. But all kidding aside, congrats to our teammates, Josh, Vidal, and Daniel Krim. You guys worked really hard. I know you did for Sebring. Y'all put a lot of effort in that race, and to come out P3, I know that was beyond your wildest expectations. But hey, you freaking did it, and now nobody can ever tell you that you couldn't do it because you did it. So you did it. You finished P3. Watkins Glen, Indianapolis. I'm really looking forward to running those races with you. I think we're gonna be tough to beat. I think we could easily podium. I really do.
Yeah, as long as people don't
both
pull
those
out in
races.
front of you off a fucking pit road.
We don't talk about Bruno. No.
I just did.
Yeah, as
Fight
long
me.
as that doesn't happen at either of those races, we should be fine. We should be fine. Oh, those aren't guns. Those are just your wheel and button boxes. Oh, look, a gun. I'm about to see my demise. I'm just kidding, guys. He wouldn't kill me. Not yet, anyways.
No, I still need you.
let's talk about Daytona. Let's talk about Extreme Motorsports on the oval side. And let's talk about your reenactments of incidents.
I mean this.
Hey, I knew you have it on cue. So, our teammate Daniel Cribb thought, this wreck really reminded him of something. This was after our dual races on Wednesday night. We were into the fun race. I don't even know what lap it was. I think it was within the first 10 laps. I really wasn't paying any attention. But this wreck happened. Only difference is, y'all, the opposite end of the speedway. This was in turns 1 and 2. And obviously, we all know Dale Earnhardt's wreck in turns 3 and 4 happened. I don't like joking about this, but Joe, you're still alive. You're still here with us. But we have been calling Joe the entire week the ghost of Joe Hutchings.
No, you haven't. We changed it to Dale Earnhardt the other day.
Okay, last night we did, but
I know you guys were calling me the ghost.
we were calling you the ghost basically the rest of the week at this point. And yeah, we had some fun with that after the race, and we had another meme of another thing, but we're not gonna show that here.
Bullshit,
Unless-
I ain't.
Unless Joe wants to show it. We know this is probably too soon for some of y'all. Oh, there it is. Too soon for some of y'all. But yeah, that was another meme that was put together. But honestly, I know you had a blast with Daytona this past week, which is good to hear. Our team did incredibly well in the dual races for between both series, Xfinity and Cup. I'm actually going to pull up those statistics here. Going to take me a minute, but we will get there. Let's talk about Xfinity first, because that's the race that's about to happen first and all that. So let's
I'm not part of
get
Xfinity.
into that.
Blah.
I know you're not, but we're going to give people shout outs where they're due. So we finished 1-2 in duel number 1. Brandon Storr with the win and Mike Campigio second. They're going to start 3rd and 5th on Tuesday in their respective cars. Ran really well. Cogswell kind of finished mid-pack in his duel, and he will start mid-pack as a result on Tuesday. And Jacob Jensen and Nate Orlowski got caught up in some wrecks. Unfortunate for them. They're going to start towards the back, 31st and 33rd, respectively, on Tuesday. Scott Rambler didn't qualify at all. Was not there Tuesday, but he will be there this Tuesday. He's going to start 36 on the grid, Joe. Kind of an opposite of what's to come. We'll talk about Cup here in just a moment, but in the second dual race of Xfinity on Tuesday, Vidal, Krim, and Todd Kyer on Brandon's team, they all finished 1, 2, 3 in their duel. So they will be starting 4th, 6th, and 8th, respectively. None of our other affiliate cars were in that second duel race. Everybody was pretty much all in the first race, so pretty decent mix of half and half, I'd say, between all 3 teams and its affiliates in the duels on Tuesday. Ran really, really good. We were really, really competitive. Like I've been telling Joe the last couple of years, it seems like our team is good at 2 types of racetracks where we really, really excel, and that's places like Daytona and Talladega, and when we go to a road course. I don't know if it has anything to do with our endurance racing background, but we are really good at those 2 type of places. Really good, everywhere else, but to see where the team runs competitively as we do, where we can sweep podiums and that kind of thing, it really seems like it's the road courses in Daytona and Talladega.
Well, it's really
For
not
the
hard
Cup
to run.
race-
It's really not hard to run up front fucking cover or in a plate race.
That is true. And it's really hard, and you think the really easy track and the really hard track types. we're
Yeah,
really
there
good
is
at.
no in between. It's on or off.
Yeah. I don't get it. For me, I try to run competitive pretty much everywhere we go, but hey, that's beside the point of this conversation. So, before Cup, we in time trial swept the front row, but that got taken away from us because Mr. Garrett Heath didn't finish on the lead lap in his second duel, so he got relegated back to 20th spot. But Joe, as a team, for the first time in extreme motorsports history, on the oval side, we have a driver starting on the pole. Scott List Rambler. How about it?
Again, on or off. We were either starting at the back of the field or in the front of the field. Scott's on or off.
Yeah. So we finished 1, 2, 3 in the first duel. We had Scott, Jacob Jensen, Josh Friedel. They all finished top 3. Then you had Prim finished just outside the top 5. In duel 1, he finished 6th, and Brandon came in 7th there. He'll start 13th. Then some things kind of fell apart. Dylan had a penalty. He's going to start 19th. Caleb's going to start 21st. Jake Zdow 23rd, and Wyatt is going to start 25th. These are the guys that are on our teams, but they kind of finished toward the back in their duels, so they're going to start a little deeper in the pack in the feature. Then we've got for the second duel race, we did pretty well. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But Jonathan Cogswell finished second in his duel. He's going to start 4th on Wednesday next week. Then you've got me, Dalton, and Joe. We finished 5th, 6th, and 7th in our duel. So we're going to be starting 10th, 12th, and 14th.
Would you like to talk about the incredible frickin' drive from being 10 seconds back to being on their fucking tails on the last lap?
Yeah, that was incredible. If we just had a couple more laps, we would have been right there with them. Once we did that switch where you were leading and Dalton was pushing, and me, people talk about, well, all you did was ride around back there. No, I actually had a pretty critical role.
Nope.
No, we'll take credit for this, because you have to make sure that you could keep the momentum up for that second car to make sure that he's pushing you all around the racetrack to keep our speed up. And I never left Dalton's bumper until his internet decided to lag out on him a couple times. That was the only time I left his bumper. But if we wouldn't have had those couple little incidents where he had a couple lag spikes, we'd probably be starting 2nd, 4th, and 6th in the duel, or in the Daytona 250 next week. But
we ran the fastest lap by a 10th of a second. All right, out of that entire night of racing, all right, between both duels, qualifying, everything, all right. Yours truly, all right, fastest lap, all right, tied Dalton for the fastest lap, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And then this guy over, I gotta remember you're that way, opposite day. You're over by Butthead. See, Butthead, Beavis. Anyways, Gary over here ran the second fastest lap behind us. All right, the way it worked out, it was just amazing. The 3-car tandem was, or not, what the fuck? Anyways, a three-car train was the best way to get it to work, because whenever Dalton fell off of my bumper, Gary was right there to shove him right back. And as long as we stayed off each other coming out of the corner, yeah, there was nothing anybody could do. And yeah, it's disgusting what you guys what you can do when you get 3 guys that are working together. I was literally towing them around. They're just pushing me so freaking hard.
Hey, you did a great job holding your line, which was incredible. I mean, you were even saying at one point you were pegging out and going like 205 going into
205
1.
205 going into turn 1, 204-ish going into turn 3, and
we really were. Yeah. And honestly, like that race and the duels just in general, they really don't tell you what you're going to get out of the Daytona 250. I suppose if you're trying to work with your teammates in the little train that we were running, you could get some data, and we found out a lot of things, and we did learn a little bit. But you're not going to learn what the pack is going to do as a whole, because when you cut the field from basically 30, 32 cars, and you only run 15, 16 cars in each duel, the race is going to be totally different next Wednesday, in my opinion, because you're going to have double the field size, and it's a points race. Points are on the line this time. So people are going to drive a little bit different. And there's going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be more chaotic, which, you know, it's Daytona and Talladega. Usually in XMS, knocking on wood here, it's pretty tame at these plate races. Will that change going into, you know, this Wednesday? Who knows? Maybe it'll be a little more chaotic. But what I like about our Cup roster, you know, at least up to this point, we're either starting in the front, you're either starting up in the front with teammates, or you're gonna be starting in the back with teammates. It's just one of those deals. And we've got 32 cars in the race on Wednesday, so we just got an addition for that, Joe. Actually, Mike Campigio is able to pull double duty this week with us over in Extreme, so he's going to be running Tuesday night in his number 24 All-Star 15 TV Chevrolet. And on Wednesday, he's going to be driving in the number 48 All-Star 15 TV Chevrolet. So he's going to be
Campigio.
So we were able to get him in there, and he's going to be starting shotgun on the field, and you know it's going to be a good time. Whenever Sim 500 is off, he's basically going to come run with us. So I don't know how many off weeks they're going to have between now and the end of our season, but if there's a couple, hey, he's going to come in and join us for a race or two. So
good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So that'll be good for him. But really, that's pretty much all the oval stuff from Daytona this week. Everybody's done a great job. The communication was great. Wish we had a couple more guys on our team radio. Yeah, I'm calling you out in public. Whatever. I don't care. Sometimes you just gotta call people out. Wish we had a little bit.
Me.
Sure did. We wish people would have had, you know, our radio channel on a little bit more, just for the communication aspect of it. Because, hey, it's a plate race. Got to keep that line of communication open. Really, you know, just to warn other teammates, like, hey, watch out for this guy, or hey, you're clear. You can come down in front of my nose. Just little things like that. When we're gonna pit, that's really the biggest thing when we come to these plate tracks, as you know, Joe. Everybody's got to come in together as a group. So you got to communicate together as a team, and that's the best way to do it. Is to decide pit strategy with one another. But did you have any final thoughts? I know we're going to have a bonus episode here this week with Scott. We're going to be talking about Formula One and the Australian Grand Prix later on, probably this evening, if not tomorrow. You guys will see it.
Mm-hmm.
But did you have anything else to add, Joe?
Yeah, where's our question of the week? I've been waiting for it. You had overtime for it. Overtime.
Shoot. Question of the week. What do you think about the racing at COTA? Should NASCAR keep going there, or should they take it off the schedule for another track like North Wilkesboro or some other track?
You want my honest opinion?
Let's hear it.
I like COTA. Shorten the track.
Aren't there two configurations? And one of them's shorter, right? Where they basically just cut half the track off.
Yes, there's the there's the two loops, and if they use the loop that's got the start the Formula One start finish straight where you guys keep turn one and you come, I think it's come out of, you make the right hand bend, and then instead of going through the S's, you cut the S's and you go left and you cut out a section of the stadium and then come back around. If they shorten that up and ditch the stage racing on road courses, I think it would create an environment to run fast. When you're sitting there, when you have stages and road courses, it's you're not running really hard. You're sitting there just.
You're running to the caution. You're taking your time. You're saving your equipment for the end.
Yeah. If you don't have that in your back pocket, like do what they did before. You know, have the stages, but we're not gonna throw a caution for it. So this is the end of the stage. Blah blah blah. Okay, somebody won that one. All right, sit there and just keep the fucking race going and shorten coda. You can do it. You did it to Watkins Glen, for God's sakes.
Well, they were running Watkins Glen long before the boot was a thing.
I know, but that's still it's short.
Well, and I've even said I'll have to agree with you. I think you could give Coda a chance if you did a different configuration of Coda. I think take out the S's in that other half of the speedway, and you just cut out the S's portion and that old uphill downhill section over there before the back straightaway. I think you might have a more entertaining race. That's just my opinion. I agree with you there. Absolutely.
Yeah, short. Get rid of the long straight. It's not needed.
Yeah.
Just make the short track, do Forza style, and call it a day. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, if you look at it, our road courses, if they're shorter than 2.5 miles, it's usually pretty fun. I mean, Watkins Glen, I don't know how long it is. I think it's like 2.5 miles, might be 2 miles. I don't know.
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
But Sonoma's 2 miles, right around that. Even the Indy Road course, I think was a little under 2.5 miles, or maybe a little over. But that race was always decent. But it wasn't like you were going, oh my God, I'm going to go Michigan speed down this long straightaway on this road course, and then I got to be in first gear again. Like, sure, it encourages a braking zone, but to me, I don't know. I just don't think the racing is that good. And you have to make all these judgment calls with the S's. Screw that. Take the S's out of the picture. Do the shorter road course, and you'll be in good shape. What are we looking at here?
So here's Coda. And if they ran that track right there, see how it cuts through right here?
Yeah.
All right. If they ran that track, I think the race would be more entertaining. Get rid of it. Don't run this. Get rid of that section.
You run only about half the S's. So you come through here,
Yeah.
turn 1, turn 2, and then and then they make a hard left, out of there into another like little chicane, and then you come back up to. You're only running what? Maybe half the back stretch, if that. Only like a quarter of that.
A quarter. In my eyes, it would be.
If you slow the cars down, it would be maybe a little more entertaining, and you still have the stadium section and the carousel there. I mean, yeah, I could get behind that.
Oh yeah, I like it. I think it would be a feasible thing to do. So that's just my opinion.
Well, you know how you and I are when it comes to these track configurations. We usually agree most of the time. I think NASCAR Sonoma should have kept the carousel, but they went away with that after COVID. But I don't know.
I don't own
what
NASCAR.
Gonna do.
I don't own NASCAR. I don't own IndyCar. I don't own IMSA. I don't own these series, so I can't run it the way that I want to run it. But if I ran Coda in a league on iRacing, I would use the short configuration, just in my eyes, because it'd be great to have that big, humongous fucking straightaway, but you're not teaching anybody about the intricacies of the cars. All right, you're having them go wide out, and you end up causing more issues in my eyes. But I don't. I'm just a co-host on a podcast that has maybe 3 viewers.
Team.
Yeah.
Right. I hope more people watch us, but hey, whatever.
Yes, more people need to watch us. Please.
But that's going to pretty much do it for us, gentlemen. It's been real. It's been fun, and real fun as always.
Don't forget, we have Formula One coming up. All right. As soon as we get the wild Scott Rambler around, So recordish. Yes. Yeah. Me fail English again.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Stealing my lines
But
again, sir.
anyways, thank you all for watching and with us and laughing at me or with me or at us, whatever. It don't matter. With us, who cares?
Got a booger.
Uh, we will see you in the next episode. Or, I don't know, maybe Joe will combine these two. Who knows? Y'all have fun. Stay classy. Stay safe. Don't play in traffic. And Scott, come on and be stupid with us here in the Formula One episode. We'll see y'all then.
But
It's going the long way. Stop the recording.